backed by major investors. Its goal? Turn Rugby Union into franchises, not clubs, add some serious cash and a bit of razzmatazz. Or in their words, make the game more watchable, accessible and entertaining, especially for younger audiences. But there's been a huge pushback, a massive no way from the current game. So what exactly is R360 and why is it controversial? Rugby Union is facing challenges on a domestic level right now. There's huge financial instability across even top-tier clubs. The English game has seen leading clubs like Wasps, London Irish and Worcester go out of business in the top flight. The Welsh provincial game is in total disarray too. R360 says they would remove what are easily some clubs' biggest expenses, i.e. the big stars, and therefore make more of them profitable. So the plan is to inject a new lease of life into the sport. But how exactly? Top stars of the men and women's game playing for a franchise-based league with fixtures in cities like London, Miami, Tokyo and Lisbon. Each city would host a tournament featuring all the franchises during a short 3-month season. And though no players have officially confirmed, reports suggest around 200 have signed pre-contracts, some worth up to 750 grand. And if that's the pre-contract, you can imagine where the full wages will get to. Problem is, the rest of rugby says no. In fact, no way. The national unions from England, Scotland, Ireland, France, Italy, South Africa, New Zealand and Australia have declared any player joining R360 will be banned from test selection. World Rugby's also not approved the league. Many fear it echoes football's failed European Super League, a top-down, money-driven idea that could damage the sport's traditions. So is it dead already? Well, Rugby Union is at a crossroads. Some may be against it, but we know others are being swayed by the cash. So will everything work itself out? Or after the European Super League and Live Golf, have we got sport's next big scandal on our hands?
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the world's biggest sports radio station. It's talkSPORT. My name is Max Rushden. Alongside me, Barry Glendenning for a 2-hour special, our perfect time of show, Barry. That means the pressure is on us to deliver, to prove to management that 2 hours is every minute that we need and no more.
Exactly, Max. Who's getting our extra half hour?
That's a good question. I presume Adrian Durham. I think Adrian Durham's doing today because we've got FA Cup commentaries. So Adrian, he has pulled rank and said, I want that half hour. Maybe, even if he doesn't do Sundays normally, we could offer it to him like 1 till 1:30 for Adrian. Do you think he'd like it? I think the Durham half hour would be good on a Sunday. I think he'd be up for it. And if he'd like it, he can WhatsApp me now. We don't WhatsApp often, but I'd be happy to hear from you, Adrian, if you'd like to do 1 till 1:30. I'm offering it to you. I don't necessarily have that power week in, week out, every Sunday. Now, Barry, you told me before the show that you have a torn abductor.
Adductor.
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 No,
Yeah, not an
abductor.
abductor.
Just taking aliens away. You're too injured. You can't abduct the aliens. You can't be abducted by... Maybe that's what happened when they stop abducting you because they've got torn abductors. Adductor. Will that affect your broadcasting prowess?
I don't think so. No, it's affecting my running prowess. I don't think it's torn, but it is in very stretched to breaking, to tearing point.
Yeah.
But the thing
I'm going to say this, Barry. I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. But if I was to choose...
I think I know what you're going to say. Well, go on. Surprise me.
I'm going to say that if I was an adductor and I had the choice of all the bodies to be in, I wouldn't necessarily pick yours.
Right, that's harsh. Well, I'll be honest. I've lived in my body for almost 53 years. Next Thursday, I will have lived in my body for 53 years.
Many happy returns.
And until very recently, I wasn't even aware I had adductors. They're the muscles sort of in your groin area.
Okay, right, I understand.
But yeah, as on the back of my recent foray into the world of elite running, I now have I've been reduced to doing sort of sideways lying down squats, planks using a chair.
Okay,
I shouldn't have to do that.
You weren't
not at
you
this
weren't
time
for
in
that.
life.
No, a fan of your caliber. You're almost 53.
It's beneath me.
No, you're doing
Planking.
side planks. Yeah. Now, what did we want to talk about today? Well, one, producer Jack said, look, the Fulham-Southampton team news is embargoed until 11. Yeah. And we were thinking of all the embargoes to break. It isn't like the monarch has died. Let's get our ducks in a row. It is just Fulham. We can announce it back. We're allowed to.
There might be people out there who don't know what an embargo is, Max.
Could you explain for the normal
the teams
people?
We are not allowed to announce the teams until a certain time. I think in Premier League games, it used to be an hour before kickoff. I think now it's an hour and 15 minutes before kickoff. I think FA Cup, it's an hour before kickoff. Sometimes managers will give press conferences. They're often incredibly dull, but no matter how banal the quotes, some of them are held over, so some go straight online, some are held over for the next day. And that they're embargoed till, say, 11 o'clock of the night of the press. And if you break an embargo, it's frowned upon. And some journalists get very, very snippy indeed because you release the news that, I don't know, Granit Xhaka might have a hamstring injury 20 minutes before you were supposed to.
Right.
Yeah.
So who would get in trouble if we were to if in the intro to the news I had broken the Fulham Southampton team news at 1 minute to 11, would I have been sued by who's the owner of Fulham, Tony Khan? Would he have taken me down? Would we have been fired?
Possibly.
Wow.
I mean, I think it's an ethical thing more than anything else.
Well,
but anyway, the upshot is that we're left to guess who's going to be playing right back. For Southampton before.
That's true. Although we know now, because I don't know. And even once they've told me, I probably won't remember unless Kyle Walker-Peters is still there, and I don't think he is. I'm not sure who's going to be the right. But we can get it from Alex Crook whenever we like. We could go now if we want, Barry.
Well, I might steal Alex's thunder.
Well, no, I think that would be very unfair on Alex Crook. Is Alex Crook there? Crook, are you there?
I am. Good morning.
Okay. Well, it's a good morning. Now, would you be upset if Barry was to steal your thunder and announce who's playing right back for Southampton today? Or because I would hate for there to be rucks. I've already upset a few people in the office. I don't want to upset any more, Crookie. So
I would be impressed.
I feel that I'm saying you'd be impressed, would you?
I would be impressed if Barry could tell us the changes that Fulham have made from midweek.
No, I'm not going to steal your thunder, Crookie. I can tell you that Harrison Reid is getting one of his infrequent run-outs.
He is. Well, Crookie wants to tell us.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't. This is telling Alex. Telling Alex what already he's been handed a team sheet. We're not there to inform Alex what's happening. Alex is here to inform the world what's happening.
Timothy Castagne, is that a change? Was he playing during the week, Crookie? I don't know.
That is a change.
Yes,
What one of 9, actually, as far as
9
Fulham
changes
are concerned.
Okay.
Yeah,
this is fun, Alex. This is fun. Who's kept their place? I haven't seen the team. And what was the last game they played? Was it beating
They
Tottenham?
lost here against West Ham in midweek, which obviously have ramifications for Tottenham.
Oh, they did, yeah. That was
Ryan
really annoying.
Sessegnon and Joachim Andersen have kept their places.
Neither of those started.
Okay, good stuff. Okay, I'm going to have a go, Alex. This is fun. I'm going to say...
This is better than the footballer game.
Yeah, okay. Who's... Now I can't remember who the goalkeeper for Fulham is anyway. So this is...
Bernd Leno.
Has Bernd Leno kept his place?
No, he hasn't.
Okay. Has Harry Wilson kept his place?
Harry Wilson didn't play in midweek and he's not available today. You're doing well at this.
Good. Okay. No, I can get this. Sander Berge has kept his place.
Sander Berge is not in the starting 11 this afternoon.
Tom Kearney's kept his place.
Correct. The captain is one of those who keeps his place. You've got one more to get.
Alex Iwobi.
No.
Anthony Robinson.
Nope.
No.
Oscar Bob.
No. Oscar Bob does start, but he didn't start in midweek.
Samuel Chukwueze.
This is
correct. There you go. Samuel Chukwueze and Tom Kearney are the only Fulham players who keep their places. We could be here all day if you try and do that with Southampton as well, Adam.
Francis Benali. Has Francis Benali kept his place?
No, Matt Letizia is unavailable as well, which is a big blow. 4 changes.
Robillard starting in goal is good, isn't it? Okay, over to you, Alex Crook, for the team news for Fulham Southampton.
Yeah, 2 players keep their places for Fulham, Kearney and Chukwueze. 4 changes for Southampton, 8th in the Championship. Nathan Wood, Casper Yander, Flynn Downs and Tom Fellows are the players who come in. Out go Jack Stevens, Cam Bragg, Shea Charles and Kuryu Matsky. So the 2 teams in full then. Fulham have their cup goalkeeper, Benjamin Lecomte, between the posts. It's a back 4 of Castagna, Cuenca, Anderson and Sessegnon. Then come Harrison Reed against his old club and the captain Kearney in midfield. Chukwueze, Smith Rowe and Oscar Bob behind the lesser spotted Rodrigo Muniz in attack for Southampton. Daniel Peretz in goal. Bree, Harwood, Bellis, Wood and Manning the back 4. Downs and Yander in midfield. Fellows, Azaz and Cienza, who's a really talented player, in behind the veteran Kyle Larin up front. Fulham looking to reach their 3rd FA Cup quarter-final in 4 seasons as they take on Southampton live and only on talkSPORT 2 at midday.
Crookie, Fulham making 9 changes. They're safe as houses in the Premier League. They should be going all out to try and win the FA Cup, shouldn't they? Are you surprised by the number of changes?
I am surprised and disappointed with Marco Silva because I think, looking at the games this weekend, Fulham and Brentford, who play live on talkSPORT against West Ham on Monday, they have no excuses at all for not naming their strongest possible team. Fulham have only ever reached 1 FA Cup final. That was back in 1975. They've never won a major trophy, with a lot of the teams who went through yesterday and on Friday having Champions League football to focus on for the rest of the season. I think there's an opportunity for Fulham or Brentford to maybe do what Crystal Palace did last season. And if I was a Fulham fan arriving here for this high noon showdown, I would feel let down with that selection, to be quite honest.
Thank you, Crookie, and thanks for humouring us. We appreciate it.
Yes.
No problem.
Alex Crook there. He's commentating alongside Scott Minto over on talkSPORT 2. Sam Ellard will give us updates here. So Henri Lecomte in goal for Fulham is a punchy selection, isn't it? I look for, I see a bit of Gallic flair in there. And did you notice there, Barry, and I've noticed this, Crookie brought it up, every single conversation now about any sport ends up with Tottenham getting relegated to the Championship. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. At some point, someone will reference Tottenham getting relegated. And I'm spending the days, I think like most Tottenham fans, really coming to terms with the fact that it now is going to happen. You know, we've really got to get in that mindset that it is going to happen. Like there's nothing we can do. We are powerless. We're powerless. It's an odd feeling.
It might not happen. You know.
Yes, but where's the point?
It is increasingly likely that.
Where's the point coming from?
I don't know. You look at their fixtures and it is difficult. And it's not just looking at their fixtures. You look at their performances and you go, where is the next point coming from? Because I think you've said it before. They may not be, in terms of the league table, the worst team in the Premier League, but in terms of performances, they are the worst team in the Premier League at the moment by some distance, I think.
Yeah, their only hope is that both Nottingham Forest and West Ham lose every game. And these teams sit on 28 and 29 points for the next 3 months. That is our only hope. It's sort of trying to actually conceive of that, of having to watch the EFL
But the thing is, a
highlights.
lot of Tottenham fans seem to think that if you get relegated, you just vanish off the face of the earth. You still play football matches every week. You play 2 every week, actually. Tottenham fans will get to visit lots of interesting places and grounds they've never been to before. It's not the end of the world. What is the end of the world is if your team gets relegated and then gets relegated again, Max, and spends 4 years in League One like Sunderland did. That is kind of like disappearing off the face of the earth.
Anyway, I'm sure we'll do an FA Cup review in a second, and it will end up with us talking about Tottenham getting relegated to the Championship. And I think, apart from Tottenham fans, I don't think anyone can get enough of hearing about Tottenham getting relegated to the Championship.
Absolutely tremendous. And I think it's like a lot of people don't want Arsenal to win the league. And some Arsenal fans take exception to this. And that's fair enough. But they must be gladdened by the fact that absolutely every single person who doesn't support Tottenham wants Tottenham to get relegated. Like everybody.
So the interesting question is, if you're a neutral, what's more important to you, Arsenal not winning the league or Tottenham getting relegated? I mean, to you, what's...
If I had to choose one, if I can have one, Arsenal not winning the league or Tottenham getting relegated, I think it's a tough call. I think I'd like to see Tottenham get relegated slightly more than Arsenal finish second again.
Yeah, well, let us know. 81089 at Max Rushden. It is the warm-up on talkSPORT.
Max?
Well, I almost certainly will. Brought to you with Travis Perkins. Doing what matters for the trade. Find out more at travisperkins.co.uk or download the app.
So it makes it more interesting, I think, Simon, for fans of other clubs. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
If it was all to finish today and this was in operation now,
you'd go way down to 17th with Norwich in the league and a chance to get into the 8th spot. That's what you do.
Right.
You take 60. You take
it opens up. Yeah.
You take 66% of the league as it sits now. 18 clubs in this league could have a reasonable shout to make a claim for getting 8th spot, because there's 11 games to go in the conventional season. There's 6 points between Derby in 8th and Norwich in 17th.
Right.
And those games, and when you get running at the business end of the season, it really does change the dynamics of how people play. All of a sudden, you've got 66% of the league having something involved. Then you've got the other 25%, or 35%, sorry, sort of going to the Gabby Bongle arithmetic school, the other 34%, which would be fighting for not staying in the division. So you've got constant jeopardy in a league, which actually reminded me when I was over in America looking at the MLS and how they construct their leagues and how many teams get an opportunity to play in their playoffs and participate in outcomes for themselves. They have something like 60 or 70% of the teams in a league any given season that could feature in a playoff scenario.
Right.
So it's all
Does
about...
it affect the quality? There's a message coming through there. You're telling me that 8th could end up going to the Premier League. Surely, that ain't good in terms of the quality of the club that's going to go up.
Well, there's nip and tuck. More often than not, when you finish 6th in the league, and we went up as a team that finished 6th, there was the points total. I think West Ham finished behind us and Wigan finished behind us in the league, and they were like a point difference. So tell me there's a point difference.
Max and Barry's Premier League
FA Cup
review on talkSPORT.
Paul's been in touch, Barry. Says, I'm watching the Kabaddi highlights from last night. They just talked about Tottenham getting relegated. I told you this is what's happening. Quibby says, hi, Max and Barry. I'm a Spurs fan. I'm looking forward to no VAR and not losing to Chelsea twice next season. Ryan says, I'm obviously obsessed with Arsenal winning the league and Champions League this season. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't equally obsessed with Spurs going down. Anyway, where should we start? Mansfield? Do you want to start in Mansfield?
Why not?
We very rarely start in Mansfield.
Yes, I enjoyed this game. I thought Mansfield gave a very good account of themselves. I noticed that Carolyn Radford, who she and her husband own Mansfield, she missed the Mansfield goal because she was late back to her seat after half-time. And then I noticed this morning she missed the start of her interview with Henry and Sean. So,
right, so she has punctuality issues.
Yes, Carolyn Radford has punctuality issues, and maybe if she was more punctual, Mansfield could have won this game. Nigel Clough gave every indication after the game that he thought they'd missed an opportunity to beat, excuse me, an admittedly under-strength but vastly superior Arsenal team. But Arsenal weren't vastly superior on the day, and Mansfield gave them plenty to think about. It was good performance from them.
I agree. I love the pitch. That's a proper FA Cup pitch, and you just need. We talked about it yesterday. Obviously, you want to win, but winning against teams like this is difficult if you are Mansfield, and so you need a moment, right? And that is either taking the lead or scoring a goal in the moment where you're suddenly back in the game. And Will Evans did that. He takes it so well. He hadn't been on the pitch long, and he takes it brilliantly. And as a lower league fan, I have been there, and this absolute sense of, we could do this, however long that lasts. And obviously, the two goals from Madueke and Eze are just so brilliant. They are just like, we're better than you at football. Here's an example. Here's Exhibit A and Exhibit B. We're better than you. Thank you very much. But I totally agree with you. Like, well done to Mansfield. They've had a good run. They won at Burnley, didn't they? And they had a chance at 0-0 as well. I think it's Reece Oates does incredibly well, and it sort of pulls it back, and it could have gone close.
I also think they should have had a penalty when the score was still 1-1. Marley Salmon pulled back George Abbott. I think that was a penalty, but it wasn't given. Other opinions are available. It started outside the box. Did it continue inside the box? I think so. But I think on comms, it was it was one of those. It's not enough of a tug.
Right, I see.
Well, I think a tug. It's either a tug or it isn't.
Sure.
So
that's how you define it.
Could have been given, and it wasn't. So that's unfortunate.
It wasn't.
Now, Eberechi Eze kicked that ball so hard.
Oh, he really did.
I mean, he really smacked that one.
That's the sort of insight people are looking for. But it is true. Honestly, if you've ever played with real professional footballers, wow, they can really kick it hard. And there is evidence. Why is producer Jack saying, let's move on? We're on to a really important bit here on how hard footballers kick footballs. Wrexham 2, Chelsea 4.
Another good game.
They made another good game. They get a good account of themselves, Wrexham. There is no comparison between Wrexham and Mansfield. They will be in the Premier League at some point. They have good players. Sam Smith used to play for us and was very good for Cambridge a few years ago. Sort of scored on that day when we stayed up, and you and Justin were ribbing me for saying we hadn't gone down and the games were happening while we were doing the show. Yeah. And they were a little unlucky with the equaliser. I saw, obviously there hadn't been VAR in this game, and some have it and some don't. Then the red card wouldn't have been a red card and the offside goal wouldn't have been offside. But I'm not sure Dobson can have any complaints for scything down whoever he scythed down and getting sent off. That is a terrible challenge. And offside is offside.
It was a bad challenge. My problem with that yellow being upgraded to a red is it's a subjective opinion. So it's just the ref's opinion being overruled by someone else's opinion. And I don't think that's what VAR should be for. I've no problem with the offside. He was offside. It was annoying because I think if he hadn't touched the ball, it might have gone in.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot.
But you'd have to be like Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell to be able to stop time and just like turn around and look at the angles and then say, okay, I don't need to touch this ball. And
did Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell have that superpower?
I think he could stop it and turn to the camera and address the camera.
Oh, he was breaking the fourth wall, was he?
He could break the fourth wall. I don't know. I don't have who had that goal disallowed, but I don't believe they're capable of breaking the fourth wall. And if they are, they should have used that at that moment, I guess.
Yeah, but anyway, he was offside, so no complaints with that. But yeah, and you're right, Dobson probably did deserve a red card, but I think as he got away with it, I don't think VAR should have intervened. I also think that if you don't have VAR in the early rounds of the competition, you shouldn't have it now. It just either have VAR
also,
or don't.
This will interest you. Pedro Neto kicked the ball incredibly hard when it hit the bar.
Wow.
Didn't absolutely cracked it. And, I was a bit sad that Garnacho's goal was given, even though it obviously crossed the line, but like the Dell just bounced straight out. I just thought maybe they could play on and have some huge controversy. But well done to Chelsea. And finally, the Newcastle City game. What did you make of this one?
There's sort of an inevitability about it, wasn't there? I think that's 5 times Newcastle and City have played this season. City have won 4 of them. Newcastle won the Premier League match at their place, I think. Eddie Howe's record against Pep is atrocious. I think he's won 2 out of about 24 or something. That's during his time with Bournemouth and Newcastle. And Newcastle just look tired. They don't have the same strength and depth as City. They can't make the same number of changes as City. Newcastle have played a hell of a lot of games this season. I don't think anyone has played more than them. And they were fairly well beaten. Newcastle weren't terrible, but they were very much second best.
Yeah, I agree with that. Matt says, fair play for seamlessly changing the jingle to the FA Cup review. Don't know where you find the time, Max. Thanks so much. Cass the Toon fan says, Max, the world hasn't got off to a great start in 2026, has it? I feel Tottenham going down is just the kickstart we need for a World Cup year. Gary says, Arsenal doing a quadruple, and the biggest talking point would be Spurs going down. In years to come, it would be Gooners did the quad, and replies would be, the season Spurs went down. Wow, I didn't know that. Anyway, it is Max and Barry with you until 1, and we'll do some EFL in just a second.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The football club. It's unbelievable. The people in charge of this football club. One of the biggest clubs in the world. And an absolute mockery. We're a mockery of a football club that we've allowed this to happen.
Are you going down?
And the fans have had to accept
You're going down.
Jace, shut up. Don't ask me again. Seriously. Like, I'm trying to do a show here. I'm trying to have a say. And you're going to sit there and just try and mug me off for 2 hours. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it.
That's a question. No problem, mate. It's not my fault you got beat tonight, is it? I wasn't playing centre half.
It's so bad.
There's no point up, Dave. Don't have a pop at me, mate. Right?
I'll have a pop at you if you try to mug me off.
No, I'm not mugging you off. I'm asking you. It's a simple question. Are you going down? Are you?
I can't do 2 hours with you, Jace, if you're just going to be an idiot. I mean, how can I take you seriously? You've got an Ange mask on and a clown mask.
What about 3 hours?
I can't do 2 hours of calls with you. I can't do it. Just please.
It's not my fault. You're rubbish.
Please, for me, don't ask me that question again. All right, just because.
What question?
All right, look. I want to hear from Spurs fans. It's obviously a shocking. I'm genuinely crestfallen. Genuinely crestfallen. It's the worst I've ever felt.
Do you think you're going down? No, it's a different question this time.
Well, how's it a different question?
I said, are you going down? Or do you think you're going down? Do you think you're going down?
What a hipster way of speaking German from Matt Hutchinson then with his Eins, zwei, drei. I hope I've suggested it for clips of the week. You don't know what I'm talking about here, Barry, do you? But yeah, Eurovision. The UK Eurovision entry will not be 100% in English. There'll be phone-ins on radio stations about how terrible that is, won't there? But maybe it'll give us a chance of winning.
Eins, zwei, drei, techno? Wasn't that?
Well, I presume. I don't know if it's techno. I've not heard it. We'll have a listen. This text says, please can we get the German 1, 2, 3 again from your newsreader? If you don't know how to count to 3 in German, what are you even doing on talkSPORT? Yeah, clip it up for Matt. It was really lovely. Anyway, time to take a look at the latest FA Cup action in partnership with McDonald's.
FA Cup update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Got big McDonald's hunger? Order delivery on the McDonald's app today. From 11 a.m, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability. Price may vary.
Let's talk to the Guardian's Ben Fisher. Hey, Ben.
Hey, Max. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Before we get on the race to avoid Spurs by getting promoted to the Premier League, there are four EFL sides playing today. Southampton at Fulham, Port Vale at home to Sunderland, Norwich going to Leeds. Three, in fact. What chance do you give any of them?
I mean, Southampton, I think you'd have to fancy maybe at Fulham. They've gone strong. Tonda Eckert is named a strong team. Going really well in the Championship, with a lot of momentum. And I actually went to see him this week. And he's, really interesting story. Only Fabian Hertzler is a younger manager in English football in the top 4 tiers. He actually worked as an analyst at Euro 2012 when he was only 19 for Germany, and then at the World Cup in 2014, which obviously Germany won. He's got a really interesting route in. He also worked on the FIFA video game franchise, spent a stint at Barnsley as assistant to Gerhard Struber, now the Bristol City manager, and now Southampton head coach. So they're in a really good place. He's done a really good job since he's gone in. I think only Coventry and Ipswich have won more points in the Championship, so that speaks volumes of the job he's done. And I think they'd fancy themselves away at Craven Cottage this afternoon.
Ben, I have a very bad feeling that Sunderland are going to lose against Port Vale. Andre Gray is pretty much the only Port Vale player I recognise. He famously played in the FA Cup final when Watford got hammered by City, and also has previous against Sunderland. He scored a hat-trick for them while playing for Burnley many years ago.
Yeah, as you say, Barry, it's a horrible game, really. I think it's a bit of a thankless task. Obviously, if Sunderland win as expected, everybody would expect them to. Clearly, there'll be people there for an upset and for an upset only. Port Vale, as you say, bottom of League One, lowest ranked team left in the competition now after yesterday. Beat Bristol City in midweek, which sort of raised a few eyebrows. And John Brady's gone in, former Northampton manager, done a good job in very trying circumstances, seen an uplift, obviously got this unlikely cup run. And I was reading he's an Arsenal supporter, so maybe if they get through, they could get Arsenal in the next round. But yeah, it's a dreadful pitch as well up at Port Vale, which is why their 4th round tie against Bristol City was rearranged in the first place. So all of the ingredients are there, I'm afraid to say, Barry.
Rearranged just because the pitch was so bad. Like, they could have just looked at it and went, that is so bad, have another week. It won't be any better, but the pitch is just too terrible to play it when you're meant to play it. Can we do some Championship stuff then, Ben? You were at Ashton Gate yesterday to see Coventry win their 5th in a row. And just before that, they'd had a bit of a blip, and people were like, oh, maybe they'll stuff it up. But this is a great run at a great time.
Yeah, exactly that. Lampard said yesterday of that run, he said, people were desperate to kind of make it bigger than it was. It was a poor run, 4 wins in 14 in all competitions from December to the start of February. As you say, 5 in a row now yesterday. They weren't at their best, but they kind of showed that other side of the game, which just gives you that confidence that maybe they will this time get over the line. 9 points clear of 3rd place Millwall now, which is quite the buffer with 10 games to go. Lampard was saying yesterday, he still believes that they have exceeded even his own expectations for the season. And I think we maybe do need to remember that as much as Coventry do have a good squad and they bolstered again in January, that for them to be in this position, top of the pile at this stage of the season, it is kind of new territory. So I think credit has to go to Lampard for getting them to this point. But clearly, as I said, they have got some great players. Haji Wright again yesterday. 6 goals in his last 5 now, 16 for the season. Only Zan Vipotnik at Swansea, who scored again yesterday, has scored more goals. So, everything's kind of working for them. Even yesterday, they went down to 10 men for a period, but brought it back. Bristol City went down to 10 men and then both had 10. And Coventry never looked like losing. And they look in a really good place. Carl Rushworth in goal, who I know is very highly rated in England circles. And Lampard said himself yesterday he thinks he can go all the way to the top. Kept a clean sheet again. So, yeah, it's all there. And, they're in a really good place.
Ben, I see a stat here in the paper. Since Boxing Day, Millwall have earned more points than any other Championship side, 30. Can you see them overtaking Middlesbrough to go up automatically? Or who do you think is best placed to go up with Coventry?
Probably Middlesbrough, but I think if it's going to be anybody, maybe Millwall are 3rd. Ipswich had a little wobble yesterday. I think it's going to be a big ask for Millwall to sort of overthrow either Coventry or Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough in action at QPR this afternoon. So there's a chance. But again, what a run Millwall on to beat Hull yesterday, another team chasing in the playoffs. They've won 5 of their past 6. I think I've been on before. There's kind of that underlying sense that Millwall, this team that kind of fade away this time of the season. They actually won 5 of their last 7 at the end of last season, 5 in a row the season before that. But maybe, I don't know, that something's going to kind of get them over the line this time, because I was looking at their bench yesterday. Barry Bannon didn't even get on. So it feels like they've got a bit more strength and depth than they have previously.
In League One, massive win for Lincoln at Cardiff.
Yeah, Lincoln trade places with Cardiff. Feels like a kind of championship fixture in waiting, that one, but a great result for Lincoln away at Cardiff. 4 in a row now. So, yeah, they're in a really good place. I think I said a couple of weeks ago, Lincoln are just such an interesting club. Clearly not the biggest club in the pyramid, but they are doing things differently. They're really good at set pieces, but they actually use AI, and they've got a head of innovation, which, sounds a bit left field, and probably is left field, but something that Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Eintracht Frankfurt have, and Lincoln. So they're kind of looking at every avenue to kind of basically, marginal gains, I suppose, on teams with bigger budgets. Cardiff being one of them, and now to go top of the pile in a really good place for the run-in.
Can I ask, Ben, what do they use AI for? Like, I use AI. I used it this morning to see how much Wrexham's squad cost to assemble and who the highest earner at Wrexham is. Answers 40 to 50 million and Kiefer Moore. But I've also found that AI gets a lot of stuff wrong when it comes to football. It's not fully up to date with transfer wheeler dealing and who's at what club and whatnot.
Yeah, set pieces is a case in point. So they're using AI for set pieces, but also it's more in terms of kind of growth. How can they build revenue, basically, in really sort of crude terms, I suppose. Especially for a club like Lincoln, where they're not going to have as big a budget as Cardiff, or say the Ipswich team that were in League One a few years ago.
Okay. What do they do at set pieces? AI. I'm just such a Luddite. I just think it's robots. I've never logged in. I don't know how to do it. I sort of feel a purity by not being part of it.
It's basically, Max, just it's
like
slightly more detailed Google. Right, but ask Google something, you ask AI something.
I still ask Jeeves. That's where I am.
Well, okay. You ask Jeeves.
Reading even have a head of artificial intelligence, Reading. So, everybody's at it.
Okay, we better get one for this show. Thank you, Ben. Thanks for your time, pal.
Thanks a lot. Ben. Cheers.
Ben Fisher there, Guardian's EFL correspondent. If you'd like to be our head of AI or head of innovation for this show, 81089 with your full application, please. That bit was thanks to McDonald's.
FA Cup update on talkSPORT with McDonald's. Got big McDonald's hunger? Order delivery on the McDonald's app today. From 11 a.m, 18 plus. Fees apply to delivery orders. Subject to availability. Price may vary.
Lee Phelps will join us in just a second. Alfie Reynolds as well is in Rome after England got done by Italy in the rugby. We'll chat to him next.
I've got lots of Tottenham mates, and they're devastated. They can't watch. They said I couldn't watch it last night. I'm not going to watch it. I can't watch it.
Seriously?
Yeah, they're getting to a stage where they're so nervous about going down, which I thought about 3 weeks ago. Oh, they'd be fine.
So did I, mate.
Now With what I've seen from Forest, what I've seen from West Ham, they're banging it.
Right, I'm the same as you, mate, and I bet you
Leeds will be looking. Leeds have got to be
looking over their shoulder as well.
Leeds have got.
Solomon at Sunderland.
We said, they've got Wolves at home now, but Wolves,
they've picked up.
They're flying.
They played well against Liverpool.
Unbelievable. And they could play them tonight. You're doing the game tonight.
FA Cup, I'm out for FA Cup, mate. Well, if like fans of most other clubs, you enjoy what's happening at Spurs right now, and you tune into the sports bar, then last night, by all accounts, was unmissable. I did hear a little bit of it, by the way. Jason was officially playing Keep Me Up with Jamie.
It's a simple question. Are you going down?
Yes.
We are the only team in the Premier League ever to bring in a new manager, to get a new manager bounce, and we get a worse bounce.
Okay, you get a new manager trounce, not bounce.
Like, I'm trying to do a show here, I'm trying to have a say, and you're going to sit there and just try and mug me off for 2 hours. I'm not going to have it. I'm not going to have it.
So dare is to poo.
I'd actually take Big Ange. It's got to that point. I would actually take Big Ange. I could do a better job. It is embarrassment. An embarrassment.
You're going down. No, seriously, last time. You're going down.
Shut up! Don't ask me again.
Realistically, Ali, realistically, he could be Tottenham Lincoln next year.
Morning all, Max and Barry with you on the warm-up until 1. Chris at commentary regards the new head of artificial intelligence for this show. Says, why would you want to include any kind of intelligence to the show at this late stage? Thank you, Chris. Let's get the latest odds out of today's action with William Hill.
In the Zone on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18 plus gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Lee Phelps joins us. Hey, Lee.
Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Should we do the FA Cup games first?
Yes, why not? Yeah, that's Fulham, Southampton. Been interesting listening to the build-up and those 9 changes for Fulham. Tend to agree with everyone else that you'd hope if you're a Fulham fan, they'd be going for this. I mean, outside of the likes of Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Fulham are one of the kind of, the teams who have got a chance here. They're 11-20 to win this game in 90 minutes. They're just a smidgen off 2-1 on, 3-1. The draw, Southampton 4-1. We just heard, haven't we, how good, what good form Saints are in. 9 unbeaten, 6 wins in there. I'm tempted, by Southampton at 4-1. Maybe Southampton and both teams to score. If you don't want to be that brave, then maybe look at Finn Azaz or Leo Cienza to score or have shots on target in a bet builder. Bet builder's available on all 3 of the FA Cup games with 25% boost on your winnings and impact sub as well on the players. So, yeah, I think Southampton will give Fulham a really good game.
What about the other 2, Port Vale, Sunderland and Leeds Norwich?
Yeah, Port Vale 11-2, big outsiders, 3-1 the draw, 4-9 for Sunderland. They had that extra time against Bristol City on Tuesday to get to this tie, so not exactly well rested. And I get all the points made about the pitch and everything else, but I think Sunderland winning at Elland Road. I know they've not had the greatest away form this season, but obviously won away at Oxford. I know that you had to get penalties to get past Everton away in the third round, but I think they go in Uraka. I think if you're having an Uraka today, I'd be confident with Sunderland. They know how to get the job done. And I think if they can keep this tight and keep the crowd a bit quiet until late in the game, I think Port Vale will run out of steam. So I'd go with Sunderland. I'd be putting them in an ACCA. You need four picks to get your boost activated. Then Leeds Norwich, another tricky one. If Leeds go down the Fulham route and don't put a strong team out, you'd think maybe the boss against his former club would be tempted to go strong and put one over them. But Norwich, another one of the form teams in the Championship, really pulled away from the relegation zone, won 9 of the last 11 in all competitions, lost 1 in 8 away from home. Yeah, I quite fancy Norwich at just under at 5-1. If you don't fancy them, I think it'll be a good game anyway. Lucas Nmecha, maybe if you're looking at a Leeds goal scorer, scored the winner versus Birmingham in the last round. And then we've got the Old Firm derby in the Scottish Cup, by the way, as well. We were sat in that luxurious studio last week, weren't we, when we saw Chimiti score that sensational overhead scissor kick in the Old Firm William Hill Premiership derby. They do it again straight away. 13-10 Rangers, 23-10 the draw, 7-4 for Celtic. Again, bet builder available on this. I'm going to go Rangers this time to get the job done. Both teams to score. Chimiti to score again. 8 goals. 8 of his 9 goals this season have come against Celtic and Hearts. 4 against Celtic and 4 against Hearts. He's a man for the big occasion, and this is another one. So that's 9-2. St Mirren Partick Thistle's the other game there, by the way. And like I said yesterday, we're gearing up for Cheltenham as well, of course. So I don't know if you've heard about this race meeting that goes on every year.
No, as I said yesterday, talkSPORT never mention it. So you know, I look forward to hearing about it from someone sometime. I have here, Lee, just before we let you go, have you paid out on Spurs getting relegated yet, or what's the?
Not yet. No, we're not in the business of doing that yet. Let's see how it works out. I mean, I've talked about it a lot. Fascinating, you know, that the 13-8 to go down, which is more or less the same price as West Ham now. 29 points from 29 games. Forest and West Ham both on 28. Tottenham do have a much better goal difference. It hasn't been mentioned really that much yet. -7. Versus -15 and -19 for Forest and West Ham.
Time.
Yeah, time. I mean, they've conceded 9 in 3 games, haven't they? So if they are starting to leak goals as well, then look. I mean, the interesting thing is, I mean, you can talk about injuries and different managers this season, but Tottenham finished on 38 points last season. That's what they're on for. This is you can change your manager all you like, but this is kind of who Spurs are at the moment, isn't it? You know, if they didn't get, you know, they were 40-1 to go down at the start of the season. Admittedly, they went up to 200-1 during the season when they had a decent run, but you know, this isn't completely unexpected, I don't think. So yeah, it's I know for people like yourself who are Spurs fans, it's terrible times, but yeah, we've got them. This is as short as they've been since we can remember. Since, I mean, we talked about that terrible season when Harry came in and kind of rescued them. They were bottom. But you have to go back to, what is it, 1977 or something, since the last time they were relegated? That's how far we're going back here. You know, the disparity between Arsenal and Tottenham has never been bigger in the Premier League era, has it? So, you know, they need points from somewhere pretty quick. But yeah. So we'll see.
Yes. And I don't know where they're going to get them, but you know, that's
it's
hard be okay.
It's hard.
Thank you,
Lee.
Lee.
Yeah, no problem at all. Oh, by the way, it's quick. We've got epic boosts on the darts today and price boosts on the T20 final as well, and all your epic boosts on Cheltenham, which I know you're gonna mention. Plenty to come over the next few days as we get ready for it.
Okay, good stuff. Cheers, Lee. Leave ups there. That was an odds update thanks to William Hill. You can get an epic boost on any favourite to win on day 1 of the Cheltenham Festival. It was 16-1 on now. Evens available from 8 o'clock on March the 10th. T's and C's apply. 18+ gambleaware.org.
In the Zone on talkSPORT. Brought to you by Final One Standing. New from William Hill. 18+ gambleaware.org. Terms and conditions apply.
Let's go to Rome. talkSPORT's rugby correspondent Alfie Reynolds is there. Alfie, welcome.
Thanks, Max. Hi, guys. How you doing?
Look, the River Tiber behind you. That's a beautiful sight. So, what on earth happened, Alfie?
Yeah, well, good question, Max. I think what on earth has happened to England in the last 3 games is probably a fair question to ask as well. This was a team on a 12-game winning run after the opening weekend of the Six Nations when they beat Wales. They were in the title conversation. Everyone thought that they would be going to Paris on the final weekend with a potential shot at the title, and this thing has come tumbling down incredibly quickly from an England point of view. It's really quite alarming. And the nature of the performances, the complete inability to back up the defeat to Scotland. There was no reaction against Ireland. There wasn't much of a reaction yesterday against Italy to the defeat against Ireland. There are a huge amount of questions being posed of the RFU and of Steve Borthwick at this moment in time.
Alfie, I couldn't believe what I was seeing yesterday. Well, the last 3 games, particularly yesterday. England looked mentally brittle. They looked physically brittle. Lawrence Delalio described their approach to this game as low risk, low reward and heavily reliant on kicking, and that approach just did not work. They're a mess.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think in particular, as you say, what are England trying to do in attack at the moment? Because I don't think people are really able to tell, other than kick the ball up in the air, try and win it back or get the scraps and go from there. There doesn't seem to be much in the way of an attacking shape. And this is why it is so stark, because look, England last year, they won 11 games on the bounce. They had a great win against the All Blacks at Twickenham. It looked like a team that had strength in depth. Their bench was coming on in the final 20 minutes of games and winning them. They looked like they were heading in the right direction. And as I say, 3 games in a row now, it has been alarming how quickly all of that has come undone. And it leads to major question marks for Steve Borthwick, if he's the right man to take this England team forward. And after the defeat here in Rome yesterday, I put that to the England head coach.
This particular year, the year before a World Cup, this Six Nations before a World Cup, we've seen it before with the England team. You look back to 2018 in particular, and then the team was in a very, very good place for the following year at the World Cup. It's tough right now. There's no doubt about it. We're not hiding away from the fact it's tough. We're not where we want to be in terms of results and in terms of performances. And I said to you that I didn't think the intensity in the last game was where it needed to be. I thought that the intensity was much improved, much more like the team. And as I say, for 60 minutes, I thought the team did a lot of very, very good things today.
Alfie, discipline is a major problem, and yesterday, in the last 20 minutes or so, Maro Itoje and Sam Underhill both got yellow cards. Is that Borthwick's fault? Is that the players' fault? Individual players' fault? It's just another problem they have.
Yeah, 100%. I think it is a complete mix of things at the moment for this England team. Of course, some of it has to rest on the coaches, but I think the players do have to pick up an element of the responsibility here. As you say, even though England didn't play that well yesterday, around the 60-minute mark, they were 18-10 up. They had put themselves in a position to win the game. Sam Underhill gets a yellow card. Maro Itoje, the captain, who up until that point I thought was having a really good game, gave away a stupid penalty to get a yellow card himself. They had a brief period where Italy had a 2-man advantage, and England totally lost control of that game. So it's partly on the players, it's partly on the coaches. In terms of just bringing you up to speed on the latest today, the RFU have released a statement. Bill Sweeney, the chief executive, has given his backing to Steve Borthwick, but interestingly within that he says that they're focused on preparing for France next week, and then in the summer, which is England go to South Africa, they play Fiji in Liverpool, and then they go to Argentina. I think it's quite telling that that is the time frame that they have referred to here. They went, despite what all the fans want, and believe me, the cacophony of noise wanting Steve Borthwick to lose his job is loud and significant. They were never going to get rid of him after this game, not when they've got a game next week, and the feeling has been they will give him the summer. But South Africa away in Johannesburg at the moment, that's as tough a game as there is in World Rugby. England at the moment are in a serious spot of bother.
And also difficult to bring in a new coach, especially Igor Tudor's unavailable to come in and rescue England at this time. But Alfie, we must quickly mention Scotland's amazing win over France.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah, absolutely sensational for Scotland. I mean, what a mad game, by the way. 50 points to 40, 90 points in the whole match. And I think this Six Nations has been incredible from a neutral's point of view. Like, England went up to Murrayfield a couple of...
Have we lost Alfie? Oh, we've lost Alfie. What a shame. Maybe he just couldn't be bothered because he's a spring day in Rome. What are you going to do? I mean, what a day it was. You can finish that, Barry, before we go to the news. It was a brilliant performance from Scotland.
Yeah, it really was. And they could have won by more. They conceded 2 late tries, which gave France a bonus point, which could prove very decisive. So we still have Scotland, France, Ireland can still win the Six Nations Championship. Scotland play Ireland next week. That should be a fairly tight game, hard one to call. And France play England. If England play like they did yesterday, they will get absolutely slaughtered by France.
Which you sound quite pleased about.
I'm really happy to see the Italians win. Their coach, what's his name? Gonzalo Quesada, he's done a great job over the last 2 years. The thing is, Italy won that game yesterday. It wasn't a massive surprise, and they didn't play that well. They didn't have to play that well, and that's what should be worrying England fans. Italy are capable of a lot better than they showed yesterday, but they still had enough.
The scenes were, sorry to cut you off. Yeah, the scenes, the Italian players and coaches and fans was brilliant. Anyway, we are late for the news, so our apologies to the whole of the world. But thank you to Alfie Reynolds as well. Have a lovely day in Rome. We'll do some Old Firm in just a second.
boys. David, good morning, mate. First
Good
of all,
morning,
how are
David.
you?
Morning, all.
David, here's a quick one for you, mate. I know we'll not be talking European football. We'll calm everything down. I want to start with this statistic, right, which I would imagine would please you as much as anything. Everton, after reaching the 40-point mark in 28 games, that's only the second time they've done that in 9 seasons. Now, I reckon that in itself is an achievement. But, and I know you'll play it down, you must have a wee thought about European football.
Well, I said right at the start, Coisty, that I said to the players that, we need to try and aim for it and hope that it was possible. In truth, it looked a million miles away, to be honest, at the start. But I have to say, we got off to a pretty good start in the league, and it's given us something to hold on to. We've been up and down, and we're probably just on the outside of European football, if we're honest. But we're not that far away that we couldn't try and make a go of it.
David, obviously the Grealish injury was disappointing, but how happy are you now with the competition for places? Beto and Barry are in great form. You've got McNeil and Dibbling fighting for a spot. NDI and Tyreek George. You've got Branthwaite back as well. The squad's looking more healthy now, isn't it?
It certainly is. I mean, I have to say, Jack was brilliant for us in the early part of the season. He gave us lots of things which we haven't had, and he helped the team greatly. So we've missed him, and we missed him over the middle of the season, middle of sort of December and January, really, when we had also a few injuries as well. But probably no different to other clubs. But we're just beginning to find our feet a little bit again, and the players you mentioned, they're all beginning to step up.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
Really tough place to go. Difficult place to go. Such a tough place to go.
It's a tough place to go at the moment.
It was a really difficult place to go, always.
But what are the toughest places to go, really? We've scoured the planet to find out. Forget a cold, wet Tuesday night in Stoke. Try playing in a blizzard 220 miles inside the Arctic Circle at the world's northernmost professional club. When Chelsea lost at Tromsø in Norway in the 97-98 Cup Winners' Cup, a massive snowstorm hit at half-time. These two boys and their brooms were absolutely no match for it. We're staying in Scandinavia for Scotland's toughest away day on a windswept cliff in the Faroe Islands. In Euro 2000 qualifying, Craig Brown's men were taken to fishing village Toftir. Kevin Gallagher called the pitch a cowfield and the wind like Pittodrie on a bad day. The Faroe Islands part-timers equalised in stoppage time, leading to these absolute scenes, and still one of Scotland's most embarrassing results.
Daft little ground, silly game.
But away trips don't come any tougher than a lung-busting schlep up the Andes to face Bolivia in La Paz. But now the Bolivians have taken home advantage to another level. The country's highest city, El Alto, 4,100 metres above sea level. Grass doesn't even grow up here. Bolivia have not lost here yet. The longest unbeaten run in any professional league ever belongs to Red Star Belgrade, or Crvena Zvezda if you must. They've gone 7 years without defeat at the Rajko Mitic in Serbia's Superliga. Their fans are pretty intimidating as well, but they're not as loud as this mob. Galatasaray's Ali Sami Yen Stadium's officially the loudest in world football. In a derby with Fenerbahce, Galatasaray fans set a Guinness World Record of 131 decibels. That's louder than Motorhead, and pretty tough to carry out your manager's instructions when you can't even hear them. However, our most intimidating away day is in Wales, where cameras can't enter and players can't leave. HMP Prescoed. This prison team was briefly kicked out the Gwent League over concerns about young opposition having to go in there. Now that's a tough place to go.
Early June 1939, Germany, always a tough place to go to.
Yeah, good afternoon. It is the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max Rushden and Barry Glendenning with you. Brought to you by the good people of Travis Perkins. For the latest big trade deals, head to travisperkins.co.uk or download the app. Let's go and get team news from the Old Firm Scottish Cup quarter-final. David Tanner has it.
And there is some interesting team news, to say the least. 7 days on from a terrific 2-2 draw in the league here at Ibrox. The Old Firm go again in the Scottish Cup quarter-final. I can tell you that Rangers vice-captain John Souttar, who wore the armband last week, has been dropped for this game, so he joins the main captain, James Tavernier, on the bench. He's replaced at centre-back by Nasser Jiga. Jack Butland wears the armband for Rangers. 2 changes in all for them. Tochi Chukwueze in midfield is replaced by Mo Diamande. Celtic, 3 changes for them for their midweek win over Aberdeen. And the big news is their captain, Callum McGregor, is out injured, as is Kieran Tierney. Also dropping out, Thomas Chanchara up front. Dyson Myra comes in up front, not a natural striker in the Celtic team, by the way. Benjamin Negrin, their top goal scorer, comes in midfield. And Austin Trusty returns to the Celtic lineup following suspension. And I can tell you that most of the noise you'll hear behind me at the moment are some of the 7,500 Celtic fans occupying the entire Broomloan stand for the first time in almost a decade. A big away support because it's the Scottish Cup and different rules on ticketing. Looking forward to this one. Rangers Celtic in the Cup, kick-off at 1 o'clock.
Thank you, David. David's going to do some revision for the footballer game, and we will talk about this game with Robert Grieve, chief football writer for the Scottish Sun. Hey, Robert, you okay?
Good afternoon, Max. How are you? Well?
Yeah, very good. And look, interesting that there will be a big away support there, because I think probably a lot of people who don't follow Scottish football that closely will not know like how little Rangers and Celtic get to go to the away games.
Yeah, it's one of the issues that this fixture has had in the last 10 years, Max. When Rangers go to Celtic Park, they get a far smaller section of the ground than they used to get many years ago. And the same when Celtic fans come here. As you say, there was a derby game here a week ago. And there was a third of the amount of fans that Celtic have here today. They're in the Broomloan Road stand behind us, and I think there's about 7,500, which makes a huge difference to the spectacle of this game.
Robert, Rangers have only lost 1 of their last 7 against Celtic. I was quite surprised when I read that stat, but and they're heavy favourites today. Is that only because they're at home?
Yeah, I would pretty much say that. You say the game last week was a bit of a tester for both teams, and Rangers were fantastic in the first half of that game. They blew Celtic away, but they didn't get the job done. You know, it was ended 2-2. But you're right, the game's at home here, despite the fact there is a far bigger Celtic support than there has been in the last decade. You'd probably have to say that Rangers, with the home advantage, are the favourites. They've been probably better form over the course of the last few months in terms of clawing their way back into the title race. But as you say, it's a cup game. There are some players, as David Tanner just told you, there are some players missing on both teams, or some changes to the teams on both teams. And the fact that Celtic are without skipper Callum McGregor and even Kieran Tierney as well, that's big mostly Celtic. You know, Callum McGregor is the driving force in this Celtic team. And the fact that he's missing through injury is a huge blow to Martin O'Neill and Celtic.
And also, if you don't win this game, there is a big chance you win nothing this year.
Yeah, it's got huge consequences. You're right. The Scottish Cup this season has really opened up for both Rangers and Dunfermline in there. They beat Aberdeen last night. Fantastic result for them. St Mirren Premiership team play Partick Thistle tonight. St Mirren in toiling, so Partick Thistle will fancy their chances. And Falkirk beat Dundee United on Friday night. So the last 4 it really opens up, and you would think that whoever does manage to win through here, whether it is Rangers or Celtic, they will have a real belief that they're going to lift the trophy. And because of the Premiership title so tight, neither team covering themselves in any glory in the league. But you're right, this is a real opportunity that they'll feel if they can get to the semi-final, that they will have a real chance of getting some silverware, which may only be their best chance this season, given how things are so tight in the Premiership.
Yeah, and actually, just in the Scottish Premiership, that Motherwell lost yesterday. People were starting to say it was a 4-horse race, but you sort of feel they needed to win every game, and they lost, was it to Dundee yesterday, and that's a massive blow for them.
Yeah, you're right, Max. I mean, they've done brilliantly. Motherwell this season have been absolutely sensational. When you can put off a pretty good argument that they've been the best team, certainly to watch in the Premiership, but they had a kind of relatively poor start. The new manager, James Bertolaescu, went in at the beginning of the season, and they had a handful of draws at the beginning, and I think most people would say they gave themselves too much to do. But the fact that Motherwell are even talking about Motherwell as being potential, a team potentially in the mix for the championship title, speaks volumes for them. But yeah, you're right. I think most people would probably agree right now that the title is pretty much a three-horse race. Hearts are out on top at the minute. They've been covering the ground brilliantly this season, and they're the team to catch. But you're right, this is obviously a Scottish Cup match, and there'll be consequences of this game, as you say. But the fact that whoever loses this cup tie today, there'll be real pressure on them to bounce back and do well in the league. But for both Rangers and Celtic, time is running out for them in the Premiership.
Robert, during the news we heard quotes from Martin O'Neill saying that Celtic are miles away from winning anything in Scotland at the moment. That seems like an extraordinary thing for a Celtic manager to say. Do you think he genuinely believes it, or is he just trying to dampen expectations?
Kelly, you know what Martin's like. You know, he's a master of the media.
Yeah.
He's doing the job a long time, a lot longer than you and I. Listen, before he became Celtic manager, before he was installed in that first interim caretaker role, he talked about Hearts, and he talked about how they were the team to beat, and he talked about how difficult it was going to be for teams to catch up with them. Within a week or so, he was actually taking charge of Celtic. I think he's under no illusions how difficult it's going to be in the closing weeks. I think Celtic, and the standard at Celtic this season is probably taken Martin by surprise when he's gone in behind closed doors and he's seen for himself what the kind of standard of the squad is. Does he quite believe it's over and it's a foregone conclusion? I don't think that's the case. Celtic are still very much in the mix for the title, but they have their problems. They are not playing particularly well. I was in Aberdeen during the week, and they needed another relatively late goal to win that game. So they're making things a lot harder for themselves, Charlie, than they probably think they have to do. And I think that's why Martin O'Neill will be saying what he's saying. But no, I think he's far too long in the tooth. I think he's using his experience here to maybe talk about things in that kind of way, where I think deep down he will still believe that Celtic can win the title. But as I say, I think there's no doubt. I think everyone will agree that Hearts are in the box seat in terms of the Premiership. But as you say, this game's a cup game today. I think there will be a knock-on effect from today and how things plan out in the league. And this is a huge game for Rangers and Celtic. The fact that the post manager, Danny Rowe, has made changes through choice, and Martin O'Neill has made changes through necessity. So it'll be interesting, very interesting to see how that pans out. But for me, the loss of Callum McGregor today for Celtic's a huge loss. And I think that could have a huge bearing outcome of today's match.
Good stuff, Robert. Thanks for coming on. Enjoy the game.
Thanks, guys.
Robert Grieve there from Ibrox, yeah, obviously it's noisy there, but I thought you hope you could hear him loud enough. Josh in Luton says, "Hi Max and Barry, I'm currently 18 kilometres into my run this morning. God, how far are you going? And the music and podcast started boring me, so I'm turning to you boys. God help me for inspiration. I hope you're delivering a big last hour of the show. No pressure. Well, get back in touch, Josh. Let us know how far you're running and at what point you need real peaks."
What, about 12 miles so far?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
He's clearly training for a marathon, at least a marathon.
Possible. Maybe. We don't know. Josh, listen, we're making no promises as to the quality of the next.
Yeah. Josh, 50. I'd like to know how your adductors are holding up under the strain of this very long run. And if you've any
let us know.
Adductor advice, I'd love to hear it, Josh.
Are you an adductor doctor, Josh? That would be good to know. Let us know. But we make no promises of the quality of the next 45 minutes. You're with us, whether the show is good or not. That's what we believe in the audience. You are it's up to you as much as it's up to us. But we will excite you incredibly with the footballer game in just a second.
Let's go to Lauren, who's Arsenal fan. All right, Lauren?
Lauren?
Oh, hi, Jamie. Sorry, it's actually Laura, the Arsenal fan.
All right, Laura.
Hi, how are you, boys?
Yeah, we're good. How are you? You feeling good?
Up the Chelsea.
Oh, I'm feeling great. I've just come fresh off the back of presenting the Arsenal game on TNT and just, to be honest, really enjoyed it, Jay.
Oh, it's Woodsy.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Woodsy. Woodsy, you've done it.
What's happening?
Woodsy, why is it taking you so long to phone us up?
Do you know what? I've been revelling in a brilliant season and I've just been enjoying myself.
You know what? It's bad if Woodsy's phoning us up. It's bad.
About you,
Hold on.
boys.
Where have you been when you've been bottling it, Woodsy? What's happened? All of a sudden you go 7 points clear and you phone us.
Jamie, I had to scroll down my phone. It took about 5 minutes to find you on the table.
Oh, Woodsy, it's a
scrolling.
Spurs ain't even played, and it's the worst night for us ever. I'm like, what is going on?
I don't even want to answer questions. I just want to ask you how you're feeling.
I'm feeling.
Woodsy, take the floor.
Woodsy,
I'll sit back and enjoy it. All right, take the
Woodsy,
floor.
I feel sick. I feel sick as a dog right now. Honestly.
How awful is it? How bad on a scale of like 1 to Spurs is it right now?
I can't believe I'm getting stick off Woodsy.
Woodsy, can I ask you,
talkSPORT.
Woodsy, can I ask you a question? Woodsy, do you want Spurs to get relegated?
If I had a choice of which one, is that what you're asking me?
Woodsy, answer whatever way you want, right? Do you want Spurs to get
No.
relegated?
No, I absolutely don't want Spurs to get relegated because I want to enjoy more North London derby pummelling for years to come. For years to come.
Good afternoon. It's the warm-up on talkSPORT. Max and Mary here until 1. Let's go to Craven Cottage, Fulham, Southampton. It's over on talkSPORT 2 if you want full commentary. Sam Allard has the latest. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Max. 20 gone. Fulham 0, Southampton 0. Just had a rather slightly different moment, but the Southampton goalkeeper tries to take a quick goal kick as most players try and leave the box from a Fulham set piece. As he launches the goal kick, it doesn't go very far because it smashes off one of his own players, Ryan Manning, who immediately goes down as he's just been smashed by the ball. But then falls to a Fulham player who puts the ball in the back of the net. The referee rules out the goal, saying he didn't blow his whistle for the goalkeeper to take the goal kick. And I think most people around this stadium perplexed as to why that wasn't allowed to carry on. Marco Silva's not happy, the Fulham players aren't happy. Southampton goalkeeper might have got away with that one. Actually, Southampton started off the game really, really well. The opening 10 minutes, the Championship side had come into this game in really good form, unbeaten in their previous 9 in all competition. They're the form side in the Championship, 7th in the table. Started the game off really well, played some lovely football. A couple of half chances first. Larry in the centre forward was played in down the right hand side. He had so much time and space to pick out the right pass, but he overhit it. Then a short while after that, Flynn Downs in midfield made a really good run through midfield. He picked out Azaz on the right hand side. Again, his final pass this time not good enough. Southampton started well. Fulham just slowly easing their way into this game. 20 gone though, Max. No goals. Live commentary on talkSPORT 2. Fulham 0, Southampton 0.
Sam, am I being stupid? You don't blow a whistle to take a goal.
That's exactly what I thought. But the referee, as soon as I think everyone here, I mean, you've got literally people sat right behind us. Everyone's looking around going, why wasn't that goal allowed to stand? I thought possibly because he sort of almost threw the ball to the goal kick mark to take it. I maybe thought at first possibly the ball was rolling when he went to take it. Southampton here are actually through on goal. They got a big opportunity here to go 1-0 up, and they somehow go wide on the counter-attack. Cienza goes through on goal. He carries the ball. He had Lauren to his right-hand side. He had so much space, so much time, perhaps too much, and he just tried to dink the ball over the goalkeeper as he came coming out, and he just went wide of the far left-hand post. That, though, is a massive opportunity for Southampton, and Leo Cienza, the left winger, just goes wide, and Fulham get away with it. And Southampton have got to make these chances count. It's still Fulham 0, Southampton 0.
Thank you, Sam. Almost a bit too entertaining and exciting for this programme, I would say. Yeah. That little bit of commentary, wasn't it? But anyway, let's go to the footballer game. It doesn't get bigger than this. Joe Shannon playing today. He's at Port Vale. Hey, Joe.
Good afternoon, guys. How are we?
Yeah, very good. You feeling confident? Not played for a while, Joe, but I know.
I enjoy
it,
though.
You're good at
I
this.
enjoy the challenge. I enjoy listening each week to the footballer game, so I'm ready to take it on, I think.
Okay, good stuff. David Tanner as well, head of Rangers Celtic. Hey, David.
I can just about hear you above the Eurovision Madness contest, which is going on all around me here at Ibrox, but I'm ready to go.
Okay, good stuff. Anil Kandola in the Reese Lock role. Hey, Anil, you okay?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Big shoes to fill, but I'll try my best, of course, mate.
Out of 10, how are you?
I'm going to give it a solid 8.5 today, yeah.
Okay, right. Well, look, less is more. That's all I'm saying, Anil. Off you go.
Right, okay, so we begin with this player who started his career in 1996 to 1999 at Ajax, making 73 appearances, moving on to 1999 to 2004, where he made 130 appearances.
Whoa. How many goals, please?
So at Ajax, he scored just the one goal, and then he moved on to Chelsea in 99 to 2004, where he made 130 appearances and scored 4 goals.
Mario Melchior
is correct.
Well, good shout.
Very
good.
much.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, right, so on to...
Barry nil, Joe nil, David nil. Here we go with player 2.
So player 2 started his senior career in 2003 to 2006 at Aerostar Bacau, moving on to 2006 to 2008, where he went to Palinthinika Timasua, making 26 appearances, and moving forward to the first team there, he made 93 appearances. All, by the way, a little clue, he didn't score any goals, which might give an indication.
No clues here.
Moving, I was just waiting for you to say how many goals, and I didn't want to disappoint with saying 0.
I was going to ask if these are made-up names.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Hopefully it looks a bit more clear from now on. So from 2011 to 2012, he made a season loan at Manchester City, which was made permanent between 2012 to 2014. From there, 2014 to 2000.
Claudio Bravo.
No. 2014 to 2016, he made 45 appearances for Sunderland before he moved on to Watford between 2016 and 2000.
Flamini. Oh, is it? No. Carry on.
Sorry, I thought there was a guest coming there. Yeah. So 2014 2016, he was at Sunderland, where he made 45 appearances. Moved on to Watford between the years.
Costel Pantilimon
is correct.
Well done. Well
phenomenal
done.
Shout.
That's really impressive. I'd have been there forever. He looked a bit like Beaker from the Muppets, didn't he? Sort of tall, thin, long, thin face. He have a thin face.
He was a giant,
very thin face. Very thin
he was
face.
bigger than Beaker. Joe, I'm giving that. He's bigger than Beaker from the Muppets. Does he have a similar face to Beaker from the Muppets? Okay, anyway, Max 1, Joe 1, David and Barry still yet to
Did he sound like
noise.
Beaker from the Muppets?
I don't think he sounded in a post-match interview. Anyway, here we go then with player 3.
Right, player 3 started his senior career at Arsenal 2015 to 2017. He went on a loan to Southend in 2016, where he made 6 appearances and didn't score any goals. Moving forward to 2016 to 2017, he had another loan at Colchester United, making 4 appearances with no goals. From 2017 to 2019, he made 54 appearances for Dundee, again scoring 0 goals. From 2019...
Is it Beaker from the Muppets?
No, it's not. From 2019 to 2023, he made 118 appearances for Rangers, scoring 6 goals. From 2023 to 2024, he made 37 appearances for Leeds United. From 2024, he played 16 games for Rennes. After that, he went to Al Shabab on loan for 13 appearances in 2025, when then he returned to Rennes, making 3 appearances in 2025. That's
David. It's you know, there's pressure on you here.
Rangers. Oh, I'm under big pressure here.
So yeah, Rangers was 2019 to 2023, 118 appearances, 6 goals in that time. Any guesses? Any takers at all?
And he had a season at Leeds.
It's not an auction.
No, yeah, have we got any takers? Any takers?
Was it Ruth?
We're here till we get it. Oh dear me.
Ruth?
Pressure though.
No, it's not.
Has he played any international football?
Yes, his international career was for Finland, where he made 70 appearances for the senior team. And
Jari Litmanen.
No.
Marian
Miksu
Pahas?
Patalainen.
I heard 2 guesses there. What were they, sorry?
One was 30 years out, David, Miksu Patalainen, and I said Marian Pahas, who definitely played for Southampton.
Latvian?
And I don't.
If I can spell Miksu Patalainen, do I get a point?
Antti Niemi, surely.
No.
And this is a particularly hard one this time.
It is tricky.
I don't know. I give up.
You can't just get back. You can't just lean back and give up. I can on the radio.
I've literally just leaned back and given up.
Glenn Kamara, yes.
Glenn Kamara is correct.
Well done.
Oh, that's superb.
Okay.
Glenn Kamara.
Final score.
I could hear the sound of Googling there. Point of order from
no,
Ibrox.
don't worry, David. The correct answer was from a man called Richard Johnson. I did not know that. So the full-time scores: Max 1, Joe 1, Richard Johnson 1, David 0, Barry 0. And thank goodness for Richard Johnson, otherwise he would have been here forever. Thank you, David. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you, Anil, as well. Good stuff. I like the auction vibe. Any takers I would like to buy. I got drunk. It's like a drunk eBay purchase, and I've bought Glenn Kamara. But there you go. That's life.
Can I just say, Max?
Yes.
Anil's come in, and he has his sheet of paper with the players' info. He also has their pictures at the top of it. So I've been desperately trying not to look. But I think even if I had looked, I still wouldn't have known who any of them were. Yeah.
Well, Wayne says Glenn. Wayne, a few people got it. Damo got it. Wayne got it. But look, that's the beauty of the footballer game, isn't it? I give up. We can't all just give up, Barry. We've got half an hour left, and then you can give up. Steve Harbison joins us next.
You're going to see me fight with a lot of passion and ferocity. I think when you're boxing a taller guy who's okay with sneaking a little split decision win or whatever else, you have to go and get him. So I'm looking forward to putting it on the line.
He knows you, you know him. There's a fair bit of mutual respect, is there, Tony?
Definitely, he's a tough fighter. He's someone who never ducked, so I respect that.
I mean, have you had history together before, as in sparring together? I know you were in the Rio
We never
Olympics.
spar. We never spar together. We went to the same Olympic Games, but we never spar. It was to the cruiserweight. It wasn't the cruiserweight.
Yeah. He picked up the bronze medal. You got the gold medal that year. Yeah. So it's an interesting time and an interesting clash. Did you ever think you was going to fight him?
I mean, when he went up to the heavyweight, of course, I was like, okay, maybe I can fight him, and especially because he's in the top 10, so that's a good opportunity.
How important is it getting home advantage as well? Because we was over at the Paris Olympics. You come up and done a piece for us for talkSPORT, actually, which was great. You brought your gold medal. I was hoping to see that today, by the way. But but you brought your gold medal, and it was fantastic. But they love you over there. You were sitting with the president at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's really great for me to have the opportunity to fight in Paris. I know Frank and George Warren been telling me that they want to build something great in France too. So yeah, let's do it. I'm really, really happy about the fact that I'm going to fight in front of my public.
I mean, winning a gold medal. What has the transition been like, Tony, going from Olympic gold medalist to professional fighter?
It's really tough. It's really tough because it's not the same style of boxing.
And Matt writes, as a Colchester United fan, I rarely get involved in the football game, and my wife has just threatened divorce after seeing me derangedly shout Glenn Kamara at the radio. Thank you, Matt. Let's get team news from Port Vale. Joe Shannon there will be commentating on the game. They play Sunderland, and Joe has the teams.
Hello again, guys. Yes, 3 changes for Port Vale, who only got through their 4th round tie against Bristol City on Tuesday, thanks to Newcastle fan Ben Wayne's goal in extra time. 3 changes from that lineup today. Kyle John, Funso Ojo and Dejon Brown come into the lineup. Magloire, Shipley and Sharif drop out. So Joe Gauci is the Port Vale goalkeeper. John, Humphreys and Hall the centre-halves. Gabriel and Gordon the wing-backs, Walters and Ojo in the middle, Wayne and Archer in support of Brown up front. For Sunderland, FA Cup winners in 1973 and 1937, there are 2 changes to the side that beat Leeds away from home on Tuesday. Siddiqui and Hume are both suspended today. Talby and Rigg come in. So it's Elborg in goal, Herchauda, Ballard, Alderete and O'Nien at the back. Diarra and Rigg in the holding roles. Talby, Lefay and Angulo behind Mayenda up front. We're at what they used to call, Max, the Wembley of the North, Vale Park. I can tell you the pitch is very cut up in places. It's certainly a classic style FA Cup pitch here today, and it's the team bottom of League One against the Premier League side. Port Vale against Sunderland, live on talkSPORT this afternoon.
Yeah, that kicks off at 1:30. Game kicked off at midday. Fulham, Southampton. Commentary on talkSPORT 2. Update from Sam Allard. Hey, Sam.
Hey, Max. 37 gone. Fulham 0, Southampton 0. No goals in this game, but it's been a really entertaining game of football so far. I told you earlier on there was real drama when the Southampton goalkeeper, Daniel Peretz, took a goal kick. It bounced off the back of one of his own players, Liam Manning, and then Fulham put the ball in the back of the net. The referee blew his whistle. Lots of people confused, especially when replay showed him pointing to his whistle. But it does seem as if the ball was rolling before the keeper took the goal kick. The referee then probably pointing to his whistle, telling us he had blown before the ball ended up in the back of the net. Big chance after that, though, for Southampton. They get the ball up the pitch from a Fulham corner. Cienza goes through on goal. He had so much space and time. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, just went wide. He then had another chance, the Southampton winger. A difficult one. Ball came in from the right-hand side. He tried to hit it on the volley, but it went miles wide. Fulham's best chance came when a Joachim Manderson header hit the bar from a corner. 7 to go until half-time. Fulham 0, Southampton 0.
Thanks, Sam. Now to Mark International Women's Day. talkSPORT's produced a special panel show bringing together some of its most respected on and off-air talent to offer an honest, inspiring and practical guide to being a female in sports media.
If you're watching at home and you're looking to get into the industry, this is the place to be.
When talkSPORT started, that was made for you. It felt like my home. This was where I was meant to be.
There isn't an average day. Every day is different. And it was a radio course and then they failed me. And I was like, Hannah, I'm in radio. I think as a woman, the imposter syndrome, you do sit and think, oh God, have I thought that because I'm a girl and I don't know enough? If you're good and you work your backside off, you'll be fine. You know, you'll be absolutely fine. This is a very big industry, but it's also a very small industry, and word travels fast. You have to hustle. You still, whether you're on air or off air, it's a sort of industry where it's tough. If there's a job that you want, work your tail off to make sure you're doing it, because if you're not, someone else will be.
Just get on and do it.
There you go. Join some of talkSPORT's finest. Shabana Hearn, Angelina Kelly, Adrian Durham for tips, advice, discussion on a career in sports broadcasting or production. You can watch the programme under the theme of Give to Gain on talkSPORT's YouTube channel and our women's football channel as well. And while that was playing out, Barry, a massive cockroach just walked across the laptop and I jumped. So I don't know where it is. It's dark. I know they're safe, but I don't want it. If I scream while we chat to Steve Harmison, you'll know what's happened.
Yeah, don't squash it. You know, you don't squash cockroaches.
Oh, what, they give off pheromones and they more come?
No, because if it's a lady cockroach and it's full of eggs, you just splatter the eggs all over the the shed.
So I could be covered in cockroaches by the end of the programme.
Yeah, you could just. Wow. But if I scream while we're interviewing Steve Harmison, it's because we're interviewing Steve Harmison, and I'll be starstruck.
Okay, of course. Or you'll be watching me be eaten by cockroaches. Anyway, Steve Harmison is listening to this. I'm wondering when we're going to get to him. Hey, Harmy.
Good afternoon, gents. How are we doing?
Very well,
not too bad. So, look, the final of the T20, India versus New Zealand. England not in it. Who's going to win it?
I just can't look past India. I mean, as much as I really want New Zealand to win, huge amount of affection for and respect for the Black Caps. You know, 5 million people. You know, such a small population of a nation of sport, which is unbelievable. Keep getting to the final or semi-finals. I just don't see how India get beat in Ahmedabad in front of 100,000 people or a home ground on a home pitch. We've seen in the last 2 games they needed to win. They needed to win the last group game against the West Indies to chase 200. Then they got 250 against England. I just don't see how India get beat.
Harmy, there was talk in the build-up to this game that India might drop Chakravarti. Has he been picked? Do you know?
Not yet. We don't know yet. We find out in about 20 minutes' time. The toss will be 20 minutes' time. I'd be surprised if they leave him out. They're talking about playing on a mixed soil pitch, which means probably the ball won't spin that much. But even though Chakravarti is a spin bowler, he's a bowler that it tends to bounce more. At the top of at the front of his hand. So he's not somebody that needs it to spin that much to be effective. So I'd be surprised if he's not playing. He did get a hammering against England, but to be fair, everybody at the Wankhede in Mumbai got a hammering. So it would be harsh to pick out Chakravarti if you leave him out. Play him in the semi-final. You win the semi-final and you leave him out for the final. I think that would be tough.
What do you make of Brendan McCullum expecting to stay on? Look, they did play well in this tournament. We all have short memories. The Ashes was bad, and I think a lot of fans have placed much more importance on the Ashes, right? And there's much less randomness to Test cricket than there is to T20. But do you think he's done enough in this tournament to sort of retain his spot?
It's a difficult one, Max, because you've got to look at the. I've said leading into this tournament, and even now, I still think Brendan McCullum. I say it with gritted teeth, and I say it with reluctantness. I still think Brendan McCullum should go, but I don't mind him staying, which sounds really contradictory. But I think he's been positive for English cricket. I think he has been a real good person that's given good vibes, his personality. He's got England playing in a different way, which is what we wanted. We wanted a different brand of cricket. We've got it. I just think that isolation of the Ashes alone, the poor preparation, the on the field, off the field behaviour, the way we lost, and a lot of people will say we always go to Australia and lose. This one was a little bit different. I think there was a lot of things that they gambled on, and it didn't work. And I think somebody's got to be held accountable. I think in this semi-final, England got to the semi-final of the World T20. They played some good cricket, but they didn't play brilliant cricket. I don't think this tournament's been that brilliant. There's been brilliant moments in it, but I think if you were asking me if he should stay or he should go, I still believe he should go, but I say that very reluctantly. I'd love to watch it, and I've said this many times. I'd love to see the film end, because it's been like a blockbuster film, the Brendan McCullum era of English cricket, and I really would like to see it end with him staying till 2027, getting the girl, winning the Ashes, and going back to New Zealand. But somebody has to be made accountable for what happened in Australia, and unfortunately, I think that sticks with a coach. So with reluctance, I'd be looking to at least let him go from the Red Ball team anyway.
I mean, I suppose the question is not necessarily somebody has to be accountable. It's will England be better if he's there or someone else is? And I don't know the answer to this, but who could come in? Who is possible to come in to take all the good bits that he did, and then also tell players not to get wasted the day before a game?
Yeah, but that's not obviously what happened with Harry is not really Brendan's fault. You can lead the horse, but you can't make him drink it. And unfortunately, Harry
not drink.
He did drink it. He did drink it. But look, there's you don't keep somebody just for the sake of there's nobody else. There will always be somebody around the corner. Somebody like the likes of Andy Flower, who's a serial winner. There are a lot of coaches out there who would jump at the chance of the England cricket job. The responsibility of the thing that I look at is it going to change? It's not so much, are we going to be a better team if we keep Brendan for the next 2 years and go with what we've got? I just look at this, and he's already said that he doesn't the relaxed camp. He doesn't apologise for having a relaxed camp and a relaxed manner. It's not a cosy club, he says. Some people will beg to differ. I just worry that the things that he's owned up and the responsibilities that they took when they said we didn't get this right, we didn't get that right, and we didn't get that right during the Ashes, which I think everybody knew beforehand what was going to happen. Are they going to be in a position? Are they man enough to change their ways to do that? If he does, then like I said before, I think he's been positive. I can't see Brendan McCullum changing that, and that's why I think I would make the change.
Granted, it was actually we could have won. Oh, we could have won it. Anyway, let's not get too stressed about it. Quick one on Newcastle yesterday. Look, they played okay, didn't they? They're just not as good as Manchester City.
I mean, Max, you look at a team. I was watching a team last night. Pep Guardiola made 10 changes, and all 10 players looked at the bench and said, I am a Manchester City player. I play in a Manchester City way, and we are one of the best teams in the country, playing for the best manager around. They were brilliant last night. I mean, you can look at how bad Newcastle. You can think if Newcastle were bad. I just think how good Man City were last night were fantastic. I think from a Newcastle point of view, Eddie made 4 changes in players that you were hoping that would knock on the manager's door and say for the run in for Barcelona home and away. I just didn't get the sense that Newcastle's players coming in were as hungry to prove to the manager as much as what the Manchester City ones were, and they're miles away. And I think Newcastle have got to remember where they are. Newcastle fans have got to remember where they are. And I think the chief executive saying we're going to be the best team in the world by 2030 has put Eddie Howe and the club under so much pressure. I think it's ridiculous. When you look at where we've come from to where we are now, we're going in the right direction. We've got a great manager. We've got a fantastic stadium. But you look at Manchester City last night, and they were a different league altogether.
Good stuff, Harmy. Thanks for coming on, pal.
Thanks, Steve.
Cheers, boys.
Steve Armisen there. It's Max and Barry here till 1. Guess the attendance is next.
Today, can you beat the you went to win hell of a beat to the Europa League champions, honestly. The Europa League champions, Beyonce, chicky, can you beat chicky? You went to win hell of a beat the big cockerel, honestly, the big cockerel. Saves by the stadium. There's that signing. Where is he? Can you beat that signing? You went to win hell of a beat the Morgan Gibbs White signing. What happened to that one? Where's he gone? Can you beat Morgan Gibbs White? You went to win hell of a beat to the Williams signing. Big Edge. Do me a favour. Can you beat Big Edge? You went to win hell of a beat Big Edge. AJ Tracy, Seven Sisters train station. Adele, 3-point lane. There is to do. Jamie Horror, you went to one hell of a beating. Ticking. Adele. Chicking. Adele. Chicking.
All right.
Chicking. Adele.
You went to one hell of a beating.
Crestfallen.
Adele.
I'm crestfallen.
Chicking. Adele.
Hello.
Chicking. Adele.
Hello.
Chicking. Adele.
Hello.
Chicking. Adele.
Hello.
All right.
Adele.
Come on.
Adele.
Spurs.
Hello.
What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? It's the worst Tottenham side I've ever seen in the Premier League. It's the worst team I've ever seen ever.
Win a VIP trip to the British Grand Prix on talkSPORT.
Yeah, we're going to send two of you to the British Grand Prix on Sunday, July the 5th, with full racing green trackside experience. You're getting exclusive grandstand seats, inner track access to watch the drivers roll into the paddock. And the whole day is sorted. All day street food, a fully open bar. The ultimate British Grand Prix experience completely on us for your chance to win. Text WIN to 83338. Text costs £2.50 plus your standard network rates. Or call 0343 418 7260. Lines close on the 20th of March 2026 at 4 p.m. And then if the phone rings, answer it. 18 plus, UK residents only. A network promotion. Full T's and C's apply. You can see them at talksport.com. For your chance to win, text the word WIN to 83338 now. Let's go to Sam Allen at half-time at Craven Cottage.
Been a really good opening 45 minutes, no goals. Fulham 0, Southampton 0, but the away side, the Championship side, in a really good run of form, unbeaten in 9, have definitely been the better of the two sides. Leo Cienza down the left-hand side having the two best opportunities from a Fulham corner, a good counter-attack. He was played through one-on-one, carried the ball into the Fulham's half, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. A shot went just wide, then a cross came in from the right-hand side. His first-time volley just went wide. Fulham had the ball in the back of the net when the goalkeeper, Southampton goalkeeper, Perret, smashed the ball off his own player from a goal kick. Fulham scored. The referee disallowed it because the ball was moving. Joachim Andersen hit the bar from a corner, and Oscar Bob had a cross deflected, which went onto the roof of the net. Half-time at the Cottage, Fulham 0, Southampton 0.
Thank you, Sam. Let's play Guess the Attendance today. Top journalist Barry Glendenning takes on top comedian Justin Morehouse. Welcome, Justin.
Hello, how are you both?
Yeah, excellent, thanks.
Good.
How are you?
I'm good. Are we going to pretend that we didn't hang around together this week?
Oh, yeah. Justin came to Dublin to watch me and David O'Doherty, my favourite Irish co-host. What did you do yesterday live? Did you have a nice time, Justin?
I had a lovely time. I was just slightly disappointed that, me and you got together, made the effort, went somewhere, and, somebody from there didn't even bother turning up.
I wasn't invited, Justin. This is the first I've heard of it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well, then I'm more disappointed in Max than I am in you, Barry. In fact, I'm not even disappointed in you.
Well, lots of people I know are constantly disappointed with me. That's fine. But I'm totally blameless on this one. I was aware the show was taking place. I wasn't invited to go to it.
Listen, Justin volunteered that he would come.
Yeah.
No one invited Justin. And I can guarantee, Barry, you wouldn't have come if I'd said, do you want to go?
It would be nice to have the option to turn you down.
Yeah.
Let's go to Mansfield.
I've been out in Dublin with you before, Max. My mother has come along to say hello to you. My Auntie Anne has come along.
Auntie Anne was there.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Listen, we've got 3 minutes for Guess the Attendance, so let's get it done. Mansfield 1, Arsenal 2. Thomas Bramall refereed the game, but how many were there at the One Call Stadium in the FA Cup 5th round, Barry?
10,000 brave souls.
9,999.
9,260. 1-0 to Justin.
Good guessing, Barry.
It was a good guess. Peter Banks refereed Wrexham 2, Chelsea 4. How many were at the Sturk K race? The racecourse ground. I think that might be Welsh for the racecourse ground.
It is Welsh for the racecourse.
My apologies to the Welsh for that terrible accent.
I really hope our friend Ellis James didn't hear that atrocity.
You can send it to
crime against Cymru.
Ryan Reynolds didn't hear
Crimes against Cymru.
My humble apologies. Wrexham 2, Chelsea 4. How many were there at the racecourse ground? Justin?
Ellis said a raft down. 18,000.
18,000.
I think Justin's overshot because there's only 3 stands there at the minute.
Oh, of course.
17,000. No, I'm going to showboat.
Oh, God.
11,000.
10,556. Great showboating from Barry Glendenning. We go to the Scottish Premiership. Dan McFarlane of Scotland, referee Dundee 2, Motherwell 1. A heartbreak for Motherwell in their aim to be the 4-horse in the title race thing. But how many people were there at Dens Park?
So
Barry?
That's the Welsh and now the Scots.
I upset the Irish to start with, Barry, by not inviting you.
Oh, yeah.
Just the English to go. How many were there at Dens Park, please, Barry?
8,200.
8,201.
6,304.
Oh.
2-1 to Barry Glendenning. We go to the Wham Stadium. Accrington Stanley 1, Cambridge 1. An important goal from Louis Appere late on for a point. Jamie O'Connor refereed the game, but how many were there at Accrington? Justin?
5,001.
5,001.
5,000.
2,332. A win for Barry. Finally,
What an
on Friday
absolute
night.
nightmare.
You've had a terrible game. But here we go. Preston 1, Oxford 3. Andrew Kitchen refereed the game. But how many were there at Deepdale? Just for pride now. Oh, no, just to cement your victory, Barry.
Preston Pride.
14,000.
40,000.
13,999.
14,009. Top guessing, Barry. Barry 4, Justin 1.
What's
Thank you,
happened,
Justin.
Barry? Have you sold your soul to somebody?
No, I'm just taking advantage of your difficult time in your life, Justin.
8 years you've been playing this game or something like that, and you're in such a purple patch. You're almost full of vitamin C.
Yeah, I'm just sad that my purple patch happens to coincide with,
Right, less than
a
purple
major
patch.
tragedy in your life.
Yeah.
It makes me look bad, but I'll
I
take
like
it.
I like the fact that you're saying you're feeling bad, but not even really meaning it. So you're double winning.
I would wait until Barry's B sample, frankly. Anyway, that's all we have time for. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Barry. Adrian Durham is next.
Has the hiring of Edu destabilised the best season in a generation at Nottingham Forest? And how much responsibility does Evangelos Marinakis have to take for it? We understand that he's been told to stay away from the City ground pending a termination of his contract at the end of the season.